Ten. Some have told me don't always think he's buttoned up with the details.
Wow.
But according to a longtime host in Chicago, Dan McNeil, and a former general manager in the NFL, Mike Lombardi, Jim Harbaugh wanted the Bears job in January, but Kevin Warren quashed it. So Harbaugh wanted the job. So listen, whatever you think about Kevin Warren and the Bears, there's three major red flags with the Bears, and they're undeniable. Passing on Jim Harbaugh, who was the perfect fit. We'll get to that in a second. Passing on Cliff Kingsbury for Shane Waldron. Kingsbury had been Caleb Williams' OC in college. And they considered benching Caleb Williams, who, by the way, has more 100-plus passer rating games this year than Patrick Mahomes. They thought about benching him. So take out the Jets. And, Chicago, there's an argument, is the second most dysfunctional team in this league. All of the Caleb Williams private hesitations about this team and franchise have been validated. I broke a story last year, and I said privately he's got concerns. He came out the next day and said, no, I don't. No. He didn't want to be the bad guy. But privately, people in his camp were saying, it's the Bears, they can't get quarterback right, and he was right. And, I mean, if it's true that Kevin Warren passed on Jim Harbaugh, you got to get over yourself sometimes. Don't make it personal. It's business. And, I mean, just think about how good of a fit Jim Harbaugh was. Just think about this. First of all, I'll say this. Men holding grudges have ruined a lot of businesses. But Jim Harbaugh has a history with the Bears and a history of developing quarterbacks. And he's a culture builder. Is there anybody in the NFL now that the Chargers are fixed that needs their culture fixed more than maybe the Jets and the Bears? Kevin Stefanski's done a good job in Cleveland. He really has. He didn't have the quarterback right, but he's done a good job. Harbaugh's done a great job. That's what Harbaugh does. Great with quarterbacks, great culture builder. That's exactly what the Bears needed. And the Bears need a rock star head coach. Did you watch Green Bay and Detroit last night? There were 20 great players in those games, and all of them either young or in their prime. And forget Minnesota, which is 10-2 in a rebuilding year at quarterback. So you can't ham and egg it in Chicago. You can't worry about, if you're Kevin Warren, I want to hire a coach I can control. That's not going to be a Harbaugh or a Sean Payton. That's or a Belichick or a Mike Vrabel. Get out of the control thing. Guys love controlling stuff. Rock stars can't be controlled. Real ones and coaches rock stars. They can't be controlled. Harbaugh's not going to be controlled. Sean Payton's not. Andy Reid's not. Belichick wasn't. So I don't doubt this story for a second. And here's the thing. We talk about this all the time. Jim Harbaugh, with a history of the Bears, culture changing, and quarterback elevation, this was an easy one. This was a layup. And what do I always say about young quarterbacks in the league? If you can't get the layups right, you're not going to work.
This is indefensible. If you are a Chicago Bears fan, you should be absolutely livid. You should be furious. You should be so angry that it should literally disgust you to even watch the rest of the season. I'm being dead serious. Because I kept saying going after Harbaugh, for them not getting Harbaugh is absurd. But now knowing that he wanted to be there, and when you now add up all the mistakes that the Chicago Bears keep making, right? Not having Cliff Kingsbury there, who most definitely would want to be with Caleb Williams, and you see what he's been able to do with Jaden Daniels, and knowing that Harbaugh wanted to be the coach there, seeing Eber firing Shane Waldron, firing Eberflus, thinking about benching Caleb Williams. I mean, this whole thing. Harbaugh is a layup, slam dunk, grand slam, 100-yard touchdown return. I mean, it's everything. Harbaugh has been successful every single place he's ever gone. There is zero risk with Harbaugh. Zero risk. It can't get any more of a guarantee. There would be some risk with like a Bill Belichick, with a Cliff Kingsbury, with a Ben Johnson. Those actually have some risk inherent to it, right? Does Bill Belichick still have it? Who's he going to get as his OC to run this offense? Ben Johnson, can he be the head coach? Cliff Kingsbury, can he be the head coach? Will he be able to keep Caleb in check because they kind of have like a college type relationship and he's a little bit younger? Like there's actually some fundamental risk there. There was zero risk, truly zero risk getting Harbaugh there. The only risk is from upper management feeling that they're not as important now and that they get less credit. And it's always shocking to me. I've ran some very, very small businesses, so I'm not acting like I'm Mr. CEO. But if I ever was in a position where I could hire someone who's going to improve the business, improve my company, improve my paycheck, but like they're going to get the credit, but like I'm still making bank now. In fact, I'm making more money. My job's even easier and I'm having more success. I don't care who's got the credit. I don't care, man. Doesn't make any sense. I don't care. Go have at it. I'm the one that hired you. I made that happen. You're here because of me. It's just insanity, man. Insanity. You had a chance to have Harbaugh as your head coach, who has immediately turned the Chargers around. If you had Harbaugh here, boom. First off, he would have fixed this offensive line. He would have drafted some linemen. And Caleb Williams would immediately be in contention for Rookie of the Year, and the Chicago Bears would be in the playoffs. That's the difference between having the coach right and not getting the coach right. Your quarterback would be Rookie of the Year, and you would not even be in contention. You would be in the playoffs. Wild card, maybe even competing for the division. Because it's not hard to imagine that you would get the win against the Vikings. You would get the win against the Lions. You would get the win against the Commanders. That's a lot of wins right there, just then and there. This is so indefensible. Because if you don't think that Harbaugh is worth 3-4 wins when you had to fire your coach and coordinator, if you don't think building that O-line would have been more valuable for Caleb Williams in this run game, which is exactly what Harbaugh would have done. We know that, considering that's what he even just did with the Chargers. And the fact that he wanted to be there, that also matters. When someone wants to be there, oh my God. This is an epic failure. It is. There's just no way to slice it. There's no way to be like, well, Harbaugh, that no. This is like I said, you should honestly be furious. This is some Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys level nonsense. Circus, whatever. That's why I'm looking at this and like I just cringe at this. I cringe. You have the ability to immediately get a top coach in the NFL with your number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, who they're saying could potentially be this, this generational next big talent. You had the chance to essentially hire Andy Reid and draft Patrick Mahomes in the same year. Do you understand what I'm saying? You had the chance to draft Patrick Mahomes and sign Andy Reid in the same year. That's what was at stake there. Instead, you kept Eberflus. What? And we know who Harbaugh would have also been able to bring in from coordinating as well and hiring a staff. The dude is next level at hiring a staff. So now you got the defense locked and loaded. You got the offense locked and loaded. You got the actual development of Caleb Williams locked and loaded. You got the game management locked and loaded. You got the game plan locked and loaded. You got the draft locked and loaded. There's not a single thing for the Chicago Bears that wouldn't have improved. It was just a guarantee. A guarantee. And the more I think about it, the more I talk about it out loud, I'm just like, oh my God. Every other team in the NFL they should be like, oh my God, thank God, thank God. Could you imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs hired, Doug Peterson instead of Andy Reid? Whew! God, this league would have been a lot easier to get through. Could you imagine if the Chiefs, just threw Patrick Mahomes in rookie year and had some random defensive head coach in there? Whew! Things would be a lot easier. And believe me, there are a lot of teams around the NFL right now who are like, oh my God. And if you're a Lions fan and a Vikings fan and a Packers fan, you should be like, oh my God, thank God the Bears just did that one. Any team in the NFC is like, oh my God. That would have been dynasty in the wait, in the building, in the waiting. Wow. This is so shocking, so indefensible. And unless the Chicago Bears can really win a Super Bowl in the next 3-4 years, when they see Harbaugh winning a Super Bowl with Herbert and the Chargers, you're going to be like, oh my God. That's what we could have had. There's a lot of Eagles fans that look over and say, oh man, if only we still had Andy Reid. If only. A lot of teams should have wanted Harbaugh last year. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Jets, the Patriots, the Jag. I mean, every team. And the Chargers went out and got it. Their lives have changed immediately. Immediately. One of the big things they said when Harbaugh took over for the Chargers, a bunch of the players were like, he pays such close attention to detail. He goes, I'm focusing. I forget which player it was. He goes, but we're focusing on things that we never focused on before. And it's just different. And what has been such a massive issue for the Chicago Bears? That's right. Details. Wow. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about this? Do you think this is just as insane as I do? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.